Good morning to everyone. We are really excited. I thank you all for coming out on this wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, sunshiny day. I think this is a representation of how wonderful this park is. When we decided to have this ribbon cutting, we had this great sunshine today to join us to enjoy this park. So again, I want to say good morning. My name is Kim Tandy. I'm the District 2 Manager from the Mayor's Office. I am really excited to see everybody here today. We've been working for a long time to have this day happen. While the park has been open for a while, the children have been enjoying it, and I'm sure the neighbors have as well. We are really, really here to officially dedicate this park as the Viola Liuzzo Park. So we have a couple of guest speakers. Oh, okay. We have a couple of wonderful speakers that are going to be before you today that are going to kind of give a little bit of the history and acknowledge what's going on out here. I do want to first acknowledge the fact that our new group exec of the Department of Neighborhoods that has just joined the city, Jimmy Settles, is here. Yay. We thank him for coming out this morning. He's been very active in parks in the city of Detroit, and we are incredibly, incredibly excited to have him on our team. And so now, without further ado, we'll get started. I want to first bring up our Michigan State Rep, Ms. Leslie Love.
Good morning. Good morning, neighbors. Isn't today a beautiful day? And what a great occasion for park dedication, a great day. The sun is bright. You all look bright and sunny. We have the cider and the donuts, and I want to thank everyone for helping present that. And thank you, Kim Tandy, for your organization and your contributions, and also to the wonderful board of the Viola Liuzzo Park Association, President Artis Johnson, Ranier Golightly, and Colette Menza. Can you all give them a round of applause? Wave your hands if I called your name. You know, I think it was about 2 years ago when I was first approached about this project. And it was in July, wasn't it? You know, when we did the ribbon cutting or first presentations. And I've grown up in this neighborhood, and I'm actually just on the other side of Greenfield where I live. And I've come by this park several times, and I saw it when the neighbors were just trying to maintain the greenage. I won't call it grass or weeds, but it was something growing out of the ground. But they also had a strong dedication in their hearts to make sure that this park and this neighborhood and this community rise to the occasion of what it really is to be a community, to be a group of people who really care about where we live and where we play and where we work, and to make this a safe park again, a fun place where families gather, whether it was to play pickleball for the first time ever or to swing on a swing. We wanted to make sure that this was a place of peace, of unity, and a great place to just simply gather and chill. And after 2 years of collective efforts, public and private, from organizations like the UAW and Teamsters, we were in the city of Detroit. We were able to make a difference and change this park into the beautiful, beautiful park that you see and that you're sitting in right now. And so I also want to thank the Detroit Sewage and Water Department and Quicken Loans. As a state representative representing this area, the 10th House District, it was my honor and pleasure to be able to present 2 years ago a $125,000 check so that we can make a difference here in the neighborhood. And then when these bills came through the legislature that helped what people call downtown and big business, people said, hey, that's nice that you're taking care of downtown, but what are you going to do in our neighborhoods? And I said, you're right. And so I called the folks at Quicken Loans and I asked them, I said, hey, I want you to come by this park and see what you can do to make a difference right here in the neighborhood. And they made a $10,000 contribution so that they could erect a sculpture on behalf of Viola Liuzzo. $25,000? I'm sorry, I'm cheapskating myself, $25,000. And so that's significant, and it's important to me that while we're developing our downtown, that we never forget our neighbors, the people who stayed through depression and blight and dug deep and said, we're not just going to settle for every day. We want to make a difference in our neighborhood and make this a place I want to stay. Make Detroit a place where I'm proud to say I am a Detroiter. And we're going to do that right here, right now, starting at this corner in the inner city, to say that in the legacy and in the honor and in the memory of Viola Liuzzo, a white woman, who heard about the struggle of the civil rights movement and what black people were doing in this nation for equal rights, for civil rights. And she said, oh, I'm not going to sit back and just let that be their problem over there. She said, I'm going to get involved. Even though she was a mother and a wife and had her commitments right here in this neighborhood, she decided to get up and go to Alabama and help make a difference in the quality of life of all human beings. And so for this neighborhood association, all the members, all the neighbors, all the people who are active, whether your name is known or not, we thank you, because that is her spirit. Not to sit back and let that be somebody else's problem, but that we all step up and we arrive at a moment when we say enough is enough. And I'm going to do something about it. And so I am so excited and delighted to celebrate something positive right here, right now in the city of Detroit. So give it up for yourselves. Give it up for all the people who made this moment possible. Thank you all. Let's enjoy our neighborhoods and our parks. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so as we go on with our part, I want to bring up Brad Dick, who is right now our group exec for the city of Detroit, who has also been over recreation for years, that has been helping us to make sure that this happens today.
Okay, thanks, Kim. Thank you. Well, that's a hard act to follow. Thank you, Representative Love. That was wonderful. Nearly 3 years ago, we presented a plan to Mayor Duggan to renovate 40 parks across the city of Detroit. And our plan included going after kind of those parks that had been maybe forgotten or ignored for many years. And we focused on neighborhood parks, parks that were less than 5 acres, that were in high dense neighborhoods like this, where the house looked right out the front door into a park, where lots of children lived and lots of seniors lived. And those 40 parks, the plan was approved by the mayor along with a $13 million budget. And I'm proud to say that in 18 months we got those parks done, and this is one of those parks. This park was special that we partnered with the Detroit Water Department to do something really unique and special here. It was also a bit more special by the fact of the history and the legacy of the park for Viola Liuzzo and her family. If you remember the family, raise your hand if you're here. So really welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And I look forward to this park over the future and being beautiful, and a place to come and recreate and enjoy. And I also am proud of the fact that we can name a park and have a park named after a hero like Viola Liuzzo. She and many other women laid the groundwork for the future heroes we have, the women we have today moving forward. So again, an applause to all women here today too, okay? Okay, that's all I have to say, so thank you.
All right, now Ms. Palencia Mobley from the Detroit Water and Sewage Department, our Deputy Director for Detroit Water and Sewage.
Good morning, everyone. First, let me say it has been an honor and a privilege to work on this project. For me, it is probably, and for the department, it is the most touching project that we have. It's a project that means something. Every project we do has some sort of meaning behind it, but this one was different. This was an opportunity to hear what neighbors wanted and to come in and be a partner. And so one of the most beautiful things about green stormwater infrastructure is that you can see it. Most of the time when you flush your toilet or you turn on your tap, you don't think about what had to happen for that water to get to you or what had to happen for that water to go away from you. And so this is visible infrastructure that you can see. So we have 3 bioretention gardens here. And so these bioretention gardens are just a fancy way to say a hole in the ground with some pretty plants that soak up water. And so instead of having street flooding or ponding on your street, you will have the rain go into these different gardens. We have beautiful black-eyed Susans and purple coneflower and all other types of plantings that will soak up the water. At this particular park, we have 3 gardens. They are managing about 3 acres of land that is coming to them, and they are responsible for managing 1 million gallons of stormwater every single year. That's a huge accomplishment, huge accomplishment. And so Detroiters, when you ask what is a drainage charge, why do I pay for drainage? It's the cost to treat wet weather. And so this is a different type of way that we're treating wet weather to make it visible, for you to understand, for you to see what actually happens with infrastructure. And so, you know, this park and this project comes at an opportune time in this country's history. This is a unique way to show partnership, to show how working together can bring synergy and can bring beautiful things to come about. This is one of 16 projects DWSD has completed, and we have 24 bioretention gardens that are either under construction or in design. We have one at Stopel Park, one at O'Shea Park. We have 2 projects at Tireman, and so we have this one here at Viola Liuzzo. And so I'm very proud of all the partnership that happened. I'm proud of our relationship with the neighbors. I'm proud that the city could come in and have partnership and have synergy with the neighbors. So once again, thank you all. Give yourselves a round of applause. We heard you, we listened, and we were here to support you. Thank you.
So how many of you all knew that that's what those were? Yes? No? Well, now we all know what those wonderful actual holes are that have actually been beautiful all summer here in the park, and that's awesome for us to be part of a park that means something because of the community and who it represents, but also something else because we're actually solving another problem in our city. It's just all kind of wonderful things happening here. So next we're going to bring up the president of the Viola Liuzzo Park Association, Mr. Artis Johnson.
Good morning to all you good peoples out here today. I am so happy to have you out here. This is something that we started many years ago, trying to make something happen, and it happened. I like to thank so many people for their part in this, especially our mayor, that helped us to make sure that everything go in order. We had a house on the corner that we wanted down. I asked the mayor myself, will you please make it happen? He made it happen. He's not here for me to tell him, but I will make sure he get the message. I'd like to thank the family for supporting us as an organization trying to make this happen. And we got the help that we need. I thank the organization that I'm involved with. They all are great people. They have all worked together. We always try to make sure that everybody understands what's going on. And most of all, I'd like to thank the city of Detroit, Miss Leslie Love, Kim Tandy, John ain't here, but you know, he was at that time. But there's so many people here that I got a list of people. But I want to thank you for just letting me be part of this park, which started many, many years ago with me cutting the grass with my own lawnmower. It made the difference. I didn't want to see the little kids standing in the grass and can't walk. And thank you. And Channel 4 News spotted that, and it took off after that. And I just want to, I'm not going to be a long speech. I just want to let you know I appreciate everything that everybody's trying to do for us to help us out with this park. And I know for a fact this is a beautiful park. And thank to the group for sticking together with us and making this happen. Thank you.
Okay, and before I bring up the grandson of our wonderful Viola Liuzzo, we have the artist here that actually, hopefully by next year, we'll be having another little ribbon cutting here in the park. He's actually putting together a sculpture that is actually sitting on the table. It's a replica of what he's going to be building big for here. Mr. Austin Brantley, if you could just come and just tell us what you're going to do out here and give a little history about yourself.
Good morning. My name is Austin Brantley. I'm a self-taught sculptor from Detroit, Michigan. I actually found my passion in sculpting when I was around 16 years old in a ceramics class. It was the only thing that gave me a peace of mind, but I was inspired by people that are heroes, like everyday heroes, like teachers. I actually had probably the best teacher I've ever had in a ceramics class, and he taught me the value of doing the right thing and working hard. After that, hearing about Viola Liuzzo's life really changed me in a way, because I started to think about what things I can do and what things we all can do to really carry on the torch and add to this thing that we call the literature of the American way. And that's something that really does it. And that's standing up for what you know is right, even when everybody is telling you that it might be wrong. And when I thought of a way to capture that, it was really difficult. Because if I just do a statue of someone standing there in a posed, stoic position, that doesn't just give it the honor it deserves. It needs to have a stride to it. It needs to have something about it that tells you that this person was real, this person existed, this person had all these feelings and emotions and wanted to convey something to us. And that's what her story does for me. And I had to put that in clay because I just felt so empowered by her story. And I feel like we all can do that. And I feel like when you put something into your life, when you have a passion for doing the right thing like she did, we all have to do the right thing as well. Thank you.
So you'll see a replica of a small figure right there, and actually that will be presented and placed in the park hopefully next year, right? Right, okay. We have actually just been joined by our District 2 City Councilman Roy McAllister, so I'm going to let him come up and say a few words to welcome as well.
Thank you so very much. And first of all, I always like to give honor to God for allowing me to be here and allowing you to be here. You know, when we have groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, openings like this shows how we as members of the city of Detroit are moving forward and how District 2 is coming alive and the communities are coming together. And I'm just so appreciative that we are having this, not only for our young people, but for the community and for our senior citizens as well. So I thank you so very much for having this, opening to this, and we want to continue to progress as we do. Thank you so very much.
So at this time, if I can have the rest of the Viola Liuzzo Association and Board to come forward, we're going to have Josh Liuzzo, the grandson of the wonderful Viola Liuzzo, to come and have a few words, and then we are going to cut the ribbon. So if I can have all of you all join us up here as well, so that we can do that directly after Josh comes up. So next is Josh Liuzzo.
Wow, this is a beautiful morning. Exciting to be with everyone here, friends and special people that I've been able to interact with, watching the development of this playground into a really gorgeous park that not only you can hear the chatter of the kids in the background, which I know would make my grandmother so happy, but just a beautiful place to come here and experience and enjoy and get away from life for a little while. So I just wanted to say some thanks to everyone that's involved and make sure we point those organizations out and the people out that culminated and came together to, for this special day and for a common goal that really harnesses my grandmother's spirit and her story. So special thanks to Mayor Duggan and the City of Detroit, Representative Leslie Love, of course, Kim Tandy, John Conyers, Michigan DNR.
That's not good.
It's the mayor. Palencia Mobley, the Detroit Water and Sewage Department, Jim Settles and the City Department of Neighborhoods, Jim Settles and UAW Ford Foundation, Quicken Loans, International Brotherhood of Teamsters, which my grandfather was a part of, General Services, Park and Recreation, Tetra Tech, Pastor Martin and the Gospel Tabernacle Church. Yvonne White and the NAACP, Michigan Coalition of Human Rights. Of course, all the donors to our recent challenge grants sponsored by Quicken Loans, friends, family who have supported this park, the neighborhood, and of course, many more that are, of course, too numerous to name. And a special thanks to Jocelyn Benson. She's here today, a good friend of mine, who I feel like really signifies a lot what my grandmother stood for, and that's courage, empathy, and action. And, it never ceases to amaze me when I become or get invited to be a part of these special moments that that honor my grandmother and her story, which many of you know, and maybe even some of you don't know. But these types of things, and everybody that gets together shares that spirit that she represented as a change agent. And it's bar none, even as beautiful as this park is, and as tangible as this is, and as much as we can see with our eyes with this, I think the most special part to me are the people that are involved. And I also want to just thank Artis for his vision and his willingness to step up and do something that maybe others weren't willing to do. So I thank you for that, sir. I've become a great friend of yours as well, and I appreciate you. Also Colette Meza and Julie Hamilton for listening to my grandmother's story and being motivated by it and wanting to capture it and make sure that other people learn from it and they were inspired by it and they took action. So what's really special to me too this year was the first year that I felt proud to bring my kids down to the park. Well, I brought them down here in July, and we walked them around, and there's some really nice educational signs here, and what the sewer department has done, the water and sewer department has done with the, incorporating the drainage areas. It's an educational experience now, and I know my grandmother would be proud of that as well. There's so much more to say to everyone here. I just want you to know from the bottom of our family's heart, this really, really means a lot to us. It means a lot to me personally. I've always been inspired by my grandmother. Whenever I face adversity in my life, I always thought, okay, if my grandmother could do what she did, I can get over this little hump, no problem. And the inspiration that's come from this and the inspiration that I continue to gather from those who are inspired by her story is, I can never show the level of gratitude because it keeps that spirit alive in me. So I just want to thank everyone here today for coming, and I hope you all bring your families down and help educate your families and your youngsters and children about my grandmother's story, because it inspires people. You guys know that, and that's the most important thing that I can hopefully try to add to her legacy, is just teaching people about her and what she did. So I just want to thank everybody, and thank you so much, and enjoy this beautiful day.
So without further ado, we're going to organize and we're going to officially cut the ribbon and dedicate this park. Everybody, at the count of three, we're going to cut, and you're going to all say, Viola.